All right. Hey guys, welcome back to the Underground. This is Interactive Chat Volume 79, our weekly Solo Man podcast where we talk about everything: news, reviews, announcements, state of plays, trailers, upcoming things, PC support, sometimes Quest games, everything PSVR2 related. What is up, guys? My name is AJ. So good to see you. I have missed you since our last escapades last week, but it was a good time as always. And this is, of course, our interactive chat where I like to interact with you guys and say what is up to Rogue, TR, and Salvador. Already in the house tonight. World Haze VR says, I got the PS5 Pro and PSVR2. Let's go, baby. Get you some No Man's Sky. Scott, the PSVR Game Cat for Life, and says, well, hello there. Hello, my friend. Good to see each and every one of you. Sal, you guys, I got to give a quick shout out to Sal, who sent me the most insane gift. He has sent me some pretty cool things over for a long period of time now. You're the man, Sal. I appreciate you, brother. But he sent me something really, really awesome that I can't wait to share, but I can't share it just yet because he's putting me under an embargo. He's like one of these developers or publishers now. He put an embargo on a gift he gave me. And so I can't talk about it yet, but I will ASAP, and you're going to want to see it. It's going to be pretty sweet. I also want to give a shout out to these lovely fine people down here, those who support me on patreon.com/PSVR Underground. Shout out to all the Patreons, keeping the lights on, helping me out, helping me, stay alive here in this bleak VR existence. No, I'm just kidding. Everything's actually really good. Guys, in case you haven't heard, VR is actually doing, I'd say it's doing quietly pretty awesome right now. There's been some major releases within the last couple months. I mean, even some indie titles like Into the Radius, shout out Into the Radius, ITR. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying the heck out of some Metro. Anybody, did you guys pick up Metro? Anybody? What do you guys think of it so far? As I said last week, I loved it. But I actually restarted my playthrough on hardcore mode now, so I really wanted to play the game the way that really I would have the first time if I wasn't in a time crunch to review it. But loved Metro. Hope to see more like these high quality, high polished cinematic narrative driven games. A lot of the single player games that, story driven single player games that we know and love here. Also want to give a shout out to, each and every one of you. Thank you for pouring in here now. Woo, we got a lot of people in the house. Wog Griever, Imzadi, good morning, good afternoon, good night. Now I sound like Brax Bro. Jay the Foveated Render Game Cat, always in that HD. Carl Atron says, hello from Barcelona, Spain. Hello, shout out to Spain. That is awesome, man. Thank you for being here. And also got to give a shout out to Nihilus Ryan, my metal feline friend. What is up, my metal brother, with the $5 donation. Thank you for getting that tip train going. Always helps. Says, always look forward to Thursdays and this show. Thank you so much, man. I always look forward, to be honest with you, today's lineup, you guys, there's actually a lot of stuff that I have on the docket tonight. There's a lot of news, but it's a bunch of little light news. But I really just wanted to make any excuse I could to come and hang out and just chat, shoot the shit with you guys. So this episode, even though we definitely got some news to run through, this may be a little bit more interactive. And I'm going to be, trying to do my best to keep an eye on the comments and let you guys maybe steer the show a little bit if there's some interesting topics or discussions that pop up. That's what it's all about, man. Even though it's somewhat of a slow news week, but it's not, there is some big news here. And that is, of course, ExoCars. I will be sharing my first impressions of that. I got to play it. I played the PC VR version. Oh man, dude, I'm so glad PSVR2 has this adapter, you guys. It is such a good PC VR headset. So I really love that, some of these things I can preview for you guys, let you know, kind of help set expectations. And ExoCars will be that game today, and I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised or pleased with the first impressions that I have, because I certainly was. So I can't wait to dive into that. Of course, other than that, I've been playing. That's the first PC VR, by the way, I have played in probably a month. I haven't played PC VR in maybe a month and a half or so. There's been some steady releases coming out on PS5. And then, of course, I've been playing the Batman. Yeah. You think darkness is your ally. No, I've been playing Batman on the Quest, because obviously that's an expensive headset and a really big needle mover game. So I wanted to play it and experience it. I'm about halfway through, still loving it. Of course, you know, I actually want to do like a full review on it at some point. I know it's a Quest game, but you know, I don't give a shit. I love all VR, and all VR is awesome. All of it has its pros and cons and its strengths and its weaknesses, and really the only thing holding it back is how expensive it is, right? Like, because it's all so great. But it like each headset's like $500. Well, I guess now there's a Quest that's like $300. If you want a PC, it's another at least $1,000. PS5 is $500, or if you want a Pro, it's $700. But, and let me tell you, man, it just, the price just makes my wallet hurt. But I wouldn't even be able, that's why I thank you guys so much for your support as always, because I wouldn't be able to do this without you. I couldn't afford to do this without you, without, like, you know, developers giving review keys. There's a lot of games that I would not be playing, you usually would not be playing, but because the developers give review keys, you know, I try to do my due diligence, take the time to play them. Plus, everybody has different tastes. There's always something that somebody loves or that people don't care about that's actually really good, and you know, don't want to make sure every stone is turned over and we check everything. So try to do my due diligence, man. Awesome Tatum in the house tonight. What is up, man? It says, light news, like new Light Brigade content. That is correct, my friend. There is some Light Brigade stuff to talk about. But first, we will get into some news in a minute. Like I said, today's gonna be a little bit different. I want to just hang out with you guys a little bit, interact a little bit, talk, let the content just kind of make itself, and we'll just have a real ass conversation about asses. No, not really. This is why I don't ever go off script, because I'm terrible at improvising. Carlotron says, we want Mage's Tale on PSVR 2 now in Spain, 1:10 a.m. I am Batman, I can't sleep now. I love your comments sometimes, you guys. I really do. Think that Walgreens says, think they'll do a Batman sequel. I don't know, maybe, perhaps. But all right, so we do have a couple things to get through. So let's go ahead and not dilly-dally around too much. The first thing I want to talk about is another pretty big PlayStation Plus premium game is being added to the lineup. This one comes to us via End Dreams and stars David Hayter and Jennifer Hale. And that is, of course, Synapse, or Synapse, for all you weird people out there. No, I don't know what the right way. What is the right way to say that? I think it's just Synapse. I'm just going to say Synapse. That's because that's how I know it. So that's what I'm going to say it is. But anyways, Synapse, of course, you know, I don't know if this game is underrated or overrated. Like, it's the weirdest game, because I think content-wise, it left a little bit to be desired, but there's no denying that the experience of it, the writing, like the script of it, like with having, you know, David Hayter in it, there's a lot of really good ideas in this game, and there's a lot of really awesome technical achievements, such as the telekinesis, of course, the eye track telekinesis. It's a beautiful game. It's wonderfully stylized, and the vision for it that they had was really, really good. I just wish they would have it. This is a game that somewhat a little bit falls victim to the recurring kind of VR thing where it's very light on content. And it's unfortunate. It seems like End Dreams has been going through a bit of a rough go lately. They obviously had a bunch of layoffs and stuff. And I think this is where the problem lies with these shorter games, is that, you know, they, as great as they are, they're better for more of the already established VR player base, or maybe somebody that's already purchased one. But smaller games like this are not really going to make most people go out and purchase the hardware for this. It's kind of a benefit that comes after. That being said, if you have PlayStation Plus Premium, man, never been a better time to try this game if you haven't already. It is an excellent game. And how cool is it that we got David Hayter and Jennifer Hale in this? That is super cool. So I love that, you know, David Hayter was like kind of on a, at least as far to my knowledge, like kind of like a game voiceover hiatus for quite some time. Now it seems like he's been coming back to a lot of things. You know, there's he did the Phantom Covert Ops with End Dreams, which aka Metal Gear Kayak VR, and then he did Synapse, which was cool. He's just got a great voice, man. He's got a great voice, great character, kind of personality thing for video games. And yeah, seems like he may be doing some stuff for the upcoming Metal Gear Solid Delta as well, which will be very interesting. And another game that should be supported, it runs with Unreal Engine, so hopefully we can get into our UEVR mod and have some fun with that as well. How crazy would that be, you guys? Pretty crazy. All right, before we move on to the next subject, shout out to Lincoln Clay VR. Thank you so much for the donation, my friend. Says, I ended up returning the Pro. Oh, it was like trying to tell the difference between 100 miles per hour and 101 miles per hour. Yeah. So aside from the two games that got an official update, that's the thing, man. That's the thing. I don't blame people for being extremely curious about the PS5 Pro and the effect it'll have on VR. But like I said, we've kind of been through this before with the PS4 Pro. And like a lot of this stuff, it requires not just a simple hardware boost is not going to make a huge difference unless you use things like dynamic resolution. And that's the deal with a lot of these things. A lot of these games running on a Pro will run at the highest frame rate possible, as smooth as possible. I know Brian was talking about stuff like Vertigo Home, or not Vertigo Home. I love that game. Vertigo 2. But yeah, in general, it requires a patch from the developers. So this is why I'm holding off on a PS5 Pro as much as I want one for No Man's Sky. Oh, trust me, that's a big one for me. But I can't justify doing it just yet. That being said, they did say that the PSSR will be PSVR2 compatible or whatever. It'll be able to use it with it later. So I'll be keeping my eye on that later date. But for now, I got plenty of stuff to keep me busy, you know, between PSVR 2 and PC, and now I have a Quest 3. I've got plenty of shit. Not to mention, I've got a haptics vest, a racing wheel. So I've got tons of awesome VR toys to play with for now. But it is something I'm going to be keeping my eye on. But probably a smart move, Lincoln. Probably a smart move if you know, you could save that money for a rainy day, and once they get the official announcement, then I'm gonna be right there with you, going back out and getting one, and enjoying the hell out of it. So, oh man, so yeah, but good stuff, man, good stuff. Thanks for being our guinea pig to test it and letting us know. But yeah, I kind of figured that was going to be the case. It's been really interesting to see people, like, you know, making these like extensive testing videos, because I'm like, there's only 2 games that work. Like, you could just do one video, or like here's the No Man's Sky comparison, here's the Kayak VR comparison. That's it. That's it. Yes, there's some maybe one-off random benefits like Vertigo too. But yeah, I still look forward to seeing the pro patches in some of these games. All right, so I've got a clip of Zombie Army VR. While I had that featured and then I scratched it off. But Zombie Army has been delayed until I think 2025. It's getting pushed back there. Another studio that was having a rough go, XR Games, who this is being developed by. This is, of course, a Rebellion IP. Is people that behind the Zombie Army series and Sniper Elite. But they had outsourced this to XR Games. And XR Games also kind of falling apart. It's pretty crazy, man. A lot of these companies that you think are going to be like the next biggest thing in VR, and they just kind of over the years, you just kind of see them kind of putter out. And then you have these studios that have these horrible reputations that just turn everything around and suddenly make an amazing game. And so it's been a wild thing to watch, very unpredictable. I'm kind of just going with, okay, who do I expect to be really good? They're gonna mess up. And who do I expect to be bad? They might make something really good, which is why I have hope for stuff like Survios and the Alien game. I really hope that's good. We've gotten a new preview on that as well. But I'm thinking Alien has a really good chance of being pretty good. I'm crossing my fingers. It needs to be really good. A big IP like that. Please don't let us down, Survios. I don't think they will, though. I think it's going to be pretty cool. Let's see here. Jim Perona says, all I can think about is Phasmo. Dude, Phasmophobia is great. Niles Ryan says, don't forget Cube. Yeah, Cube has PS5 Pro support. I mean, that's already a really good looking game. They've got 8K textures in Cube, and it's not really a game that I think, to me personally, a PS5 Pro makes a huge difference to. But as much as I enjoyed that game, I kind of like beat the campaign and moved on because I'm not like a big builder person. I'm still waiting. The patch that I want for Cube is that like multiplayer thing that allows you to go to other people's creations. That's the game changing thing for Cube. I want to go visit that Mario 3 world map that somebody made, or those crazy, beautiful, gorgeous towers and stuff, without being able to visit those things and just being able to see pictures online. I'm kind of like, meh. But it was a good game, though. It is very, very good. Looper, the Underground Game Cat. What up, Looper? Says, are you looking forward to a black wall of xenomorphs? Yes. And I'm looking forward to turning that into a green, burning wall of xenomorphs. Get it? Because they're acid blood, you stand with me there. I know. What's up? Not sure. Brondo, good to see you, man. DJ Disco Beaver says, great name, by the way, says, got a decision to make. Going for the Bhaptics vest instead of PS5 Pro. Well, my friend, good news for you. Good news for you is that I forgot to add the trailer. So hold on one second. Let me bring up the trailer real quick, because we actually have some Bhaptics news here. And I think you've made, listen, if you just play VR or mostly play VR, then I think, okay, hold on. There might be a sound warning, audio warning. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. The Bhaptics team have actually officially announced new models for the Bhaptics. Let's see here. They've got the Tac Suit Pro, the Tac Suit Air, and the Tac Sleeve. 3 new models. Now, the awesome thing about this, so guys, as you know, I have a Bhaptics X40, Tac Suit X40. It's got the 40 haptic motors in it. I freaking love this thing, you guys. I think it is one of the best accessories for VR. I think it could even be out, it could go beyond VR. I think it'd be a great even flat screen accessory. But obviously even better with VR, just for that the added immersion. But I'm a big fan of the tack suit, as many of you know. And but the big barrier for it is the price. Well, the awesome news about this Bhaptics announcement is that these new models are actually coming in at a pretty more affordable price. I mean, they're still expensive, but we're talking about half the price here. And by that, these are the three new models here. The Tac Suit Pro, which is at $499. That's about the same price. The Tac Suit Air, however, is $250, which is still expensive, but that is literally more than half the price of the X40, and then the tack sleeve. Now, I got to be honest with you. People have told me the tack sleeve stuff is really good. It's kind of like a giant wristband. And the main thing that you feel with that is like when you're like shooting guns or, you know, charging up guns and shooting them, you get like an extra vibration there. I haven't used that very much because I didn't find it to be very comfortable. However, the tack suit itself, the vest, is an incredible next gen piece of tech that I think is absolutely wonderful. I mean, it is expensive, but it is also just so high quality. I have a video. For those who haven't seen, make sure you go check out the video that I made on the tech suit. And most of that is not even covering native support. Most of that is just covering the audio to haptics, which is still really good and a little bit more versatile because it can obviously be played with just about any game using the right profile. But the native support, though, now that's some next level stuff. That is definitely some like Ready Player One level stuff. But yeah, man. So those interested, and look at that, it's $250. That is nowhere near the $700 price tag of a PS5 Pro. Again, I will probably get a PS5 Pro, but later, once they gotta show me the money. They have to, once all the official native support, official patches start dropping for Pro, and enough is out there, then I'll pick one up. But in the meantime, hell yeah, man, treat yourself to a vest. They are absolutely sick. They are so good, and they're really easy to use. Really like. That's a big thing too. Like it's long battery life, really high quality, really easy to use, which is a big deal because you'd think it'd be like a pain in the ass to like, you know, put on like anything else other than a headset. And obviously, you know, there's a little bit more involved, but it's like so easy. It really is nothing. Grieva, thank you so much for the donation. Keep that tip train going, my friend. Says Sony has the best IPs. PSVR could be fire, but yeah, they've definitely. Well, according to Sony, they don't have any IPs. Wasn't that like a quote from like one of the Sony people not too long ago? They're like, we don't have any IPs, and people are like, well, why the hell do you think, like, where do you think you got to where you were in the first place? It's because of your IPs. Of course you've got IPs. You've got, and people have been ever since then begging for, give us Killzone, man. Bring back Killzone. Even better, give us Resistance. I actually liked Resistance way more than Killzone. But yeah, man, give us a Spider-Man VR. Give us God of War VR. Why not? I don't give a shit. I'm not actually the biggest fan of like God of War. I've never really cared for that IP a whole bunch. But I'd probably really like it in VR. That's for sure. I'd want a Spider-Man though. Give me a Spider-Man. Give me Resistance in VR. That would make me very, very happy, along with a bunch of other IPs. Give me SOCOM. So much good stuff to use from. Yeah, man. Griever, I totally agree. The thing is right now, and we talked about this on Monday's Gamescast a little bit, is that like right now Sony's kind of in a restructuring kind of thing. So they're basically starting from scratch again. So it's going to be a while before they get things rolling again. So we'll have to see. But I do hope to see Sony kind of return to form, because yeah, when they're at their best, like, gaming is good. Everyone's telling me to shush. I didn't say God of War is bad. I just said I've never really been super into it. It's just never been my thing, man. I don't know why. I tried playing so many of them, and I just really couldn't get into them. I don't know why. But yeah, man. So, moving on with the news, like I said, I am going to be kind of scanning your comments a little bit more than usual here, because I want to mix it up a little bit today with today's plethora of light news. I want to have some fun, interact with you guys. And I do see some people in the chat saying they got a PS5 Pro and they love it. Excellent. You know, I can totally understand why, especially if you play No Man's Sky and Kayak VR. I could see why you would love it. Or if you play flat games. I'm sure there's a couple other benefits, but I'm still waiting to hear somebody give me some feedback about Dreams and Star Wars Squadrons using a PSVR 1. I want to see what a PS5 Pro does to Dreams. That would be sweet. Imzadi says VR is sending me broke. Can't afford to be haptic. I know. VR is super expensive. I'm selling a bunch of stuff to try and get a new PC, just a stronger PC, just better for VR. Although my PC does pretty well. It was not a cheap PC. It was a pretty good deal though. I got it for about $1,000. I got a 4060 Ti, and it's a pretty great PC. It's just for doing some of the stuff that I want to do. It requires a futuristic supercomputer, which, as great as my computer is, it is not a futuristic supercomputer. World Haze. Dreams look good on a PS5, homie. What do you mean it still looks piss poor? Dreams looks incredible. I just played PT Silent Hills recently. And it was awesome. Scott, the PSVR Game Cat for Life, says God of War is king. Wagriver says make a God of War like Batman style. Yeah, they really did capture the right thing with Batman, you know, making it a full-fledged game. Don't water it down too much. Don't make it a climbing game. Don't make it a tech demo. Make a game, man. Take these IPs. That's the important part. Take these IPs and make a big ass awesome game out of them. That's what's going to make people go out and buy VR. Metro is a good example. Metro is pretty good. A great way to use the IP. Batman's a great example. Hitman 3. I'm pretty sure Hitman 3 is gonna sell some headsets this holiday for sure. Hitman 3 is gonna be a very big deal. Cannot wait for that. So in other news, this is kind of just an announcement of an announcement, but the Green Hell devs have given us an update and said within the next few weeks, we should be having an official announcement of Green Hell VR co-op mode. This is, of course, the story-based survival game, and yeah, I actually really enjoyed this game. Like, yeah, it was a little disappointing in some ways, but overall, as somebody who'd never played Green Hell before and just jumped in for the first time, especially after it got like visually updated and everything, I actually liked this game a good bit. Didn't really care for the story. For all the work they put into the story, it was pretty forgettable and just bland. But the survival mechanics, man, the survival mechanics in this were excellent. I really love survival in VR, having to do things like drink water, eat. They really break it down in this. It's not just like eat and drink, but it's like you got to eat protein and you got to eat fatty acids and you got to eat fat and carbs and stuff. It's wild. But yeah, so really looking forward to that. I think depending on how, well they execute this, if they do it right, Green Hell could be tons of fun co-op. No, for real, Green Hell could be really awesome. So fingers crossed that it turns out good, and we shall get the official announcement here in just a couple weeks. Something else that is awesome that we've got some updates on. Fats and carbs. Okay, bring on the pizza. Awesome, Tatum. Yeah, I'm kind of with you guys. Like it was pretty decent. Green Hell was. Mark Poppin' Pringles Leaf says Behemoth will be a seller. Hopefully, man. Behemoth has one thing going against it, and that is it is not an already known established IP. That's a challenge that a lot of VR developers face these days, is like, how do you sell people on something that they have no idea about, or they don't know what it's like to experience it or feel it, be in the headset? It's a hard way to sell, which is why using already established IPs makes people go, oh yeah, okay, this, but in first person, and I get to move, interact and grab stuff in the world, and I come face to face with some of these characters and look around, and it just helps people understand a little bit better. And it's funny because there's a lot of VR doubters out there, or skeptics or whatever. But then the second a game or an IP or something that they like comes out and it does well, like Batman, all of a sudden they're like, oh my God, like this is amazing. And it's like, now you understand. Good job. It's just, you have to find a way to connect it to people, to make them visualize or understand. Everyone's brain is different and thinks a different way. So that's the easiest way to flip that switch and make them go, oh yeah, that would be really fun. I would like that. But again, stuff like Behemoth, stuff like Into the Radius, these awesome games that are just, kind of their own thing. It's harder for them. It's more of an uphill battle. But luckily a lot of stuff spreads by word of mouth these days. And so, the VR space may be a little bit smaller, but it's also more passionate, engaging, and will definitely, if there's something good, it will absolutely spread like wildfire. Enough to, propel some sort of success. And I'm definitely looking forward to Behemoth. I have high expectations for that game. Of all the studios, like Skydance really has to screw a lot of things up to really make me go in cautious, make me approach with caution, because Saints and Sinners 1, Saints and Sinners 2 were both amazing. And until they mess that up, like they're in our good graces, and I will give them the benefit of the doubt. And like, dude, I'm thinking, Behemoth could potentially be game of the year, quietly be game of the year, end up that way anyways. I would not doubt it for 1 second if it were to happen, but we have to wait and see. Mischievous Marco in the house tonight. What is up, my dude? Says, I've got 12 hours into Metro and probably get another 6 to 8 going for the Platinum Trophy. Nice. Dude, I love Metro. Very, very good. Okay, Looper, Arashi Castles of Sin. That was a little bit different. That wasn't really developed by Skydance or created by them. That was actually a really good PSVR 1 game, but it was not a good port. It was just the bare bones thing, and it was a kind of a missed opportunity. While I enjoyed that game, it was like, I am not playing this again in the same exact game. Like, no, like there was nothing. It was rough, man. It was rough. All right. So, we've also got some awesome news, like I was saying, and that is Firmament. Guys, what if I told you, now don't leave, but what if I told you that I'm excited about a puzzle game? Oh, I know. But this is, of course, via Cyan Worlds, creators of Myst and Riven, and this is their man. Holy crap. Now that I think about it, Firmament has been, it was a Kickstarter back in like 2018 or 2019. And this is, it's released on some platforms, but it's officially releasing on PSVR2. And they gave us a little bit of a status update, which we can take a look at here via Twitter. Let's see here. At least Twitter still has some use these days. A little bit. Let's move this here. They say, great news for Firmament. Okay, no, down here. Firmament for PlayStation 4, 5, and PSVR2 is in progress, and it is coming in Q1 2025. Wow, back to this Kickstarter page that I first saw this Kickstarter years ago. As we said in our latest update, we're here with an update for you about PlayStation versions of Firmament for PS4, PS5, and PSVR2. We know many backers have been waiting for PlayStation news about Firmament for a long time, and now that we have the latest patch out for Mac and PC, we still have more work to do. We have to update the PlayStation SDKs we use with the engine once more and address a few remaining PlayStation-specific issues. Unfortunately, this has taken us longer than we estimated, but we want to make sure that the game is completely stable and looking good on PlayStation before we ship it. We apologize again for the release estimates continuing to get pushed back on this and are fully aware of how many of you are still waiting for your PlayStation keys. Our team is working hard on getting this port out in order to fulfill your game reward, and we are currently receiving additional assistance from a porting partner in conjunction with work being done internally to get this done as quickly as we can. We'll continue to provide more updates on this process as we have them. All this work is not without a cost, though. Unfortunately, it means Firmament's estimated PlayStation release has been moved to Q1 of 2025. And basically just say see you next year. So a little bit longer to wait on Firmament. However, that being said, I don't know how excited to be about this game. I remember kind of reading like some early impressions, kind of saying like it wasn't VRAF enough for the VR versions. But I'm hoping all this extra time will allow them to kind of polish it up even more, maybe make it a little bit more, can work with some of the feedback that they got from the other versions that released and make some improvements on our version. That's the benefit of always getting stuff later on consoles, is like usually you get the even though some people are, you may consider them lucky to get early access to stuff, a lot of times you end up getting the best version later anyways because of all the testing and feedback and all that stuff from the early releases. So but yeah, I had to give a shout out to Firmament because I am kind of in the mood for just a beautiful kind of steady, slow, steady paced kind of puzzly game where it's like a world, like environmental storytelling, environmental puzzle solving, something like I'm really craving that next Zing, The Land Beyond or Transpose. I'm really looking for the next one of those because those are really great and really fun. So I hope this turns out pretty good because this is something I would love to play, just like a Myst or Riven, something like that. But yeah, man. So Q1 2025 is starting to get a little bit more packed now. We knew for a while everything leading up to the end of this year, but a lot of that stuff got pushed out of 2024, like Wanderer and Arcanage, I think, and Zombie Army, now Firmament. So 2025, as a result of all these delays, is actually looking pretty decent now. With all this stuff getting pushed back, and hopefully, again, all this stuff getting pushed back hopefully means the best versions of these games possible, and end up being really good, like as a result. So that could be awesome. But looking forward to Firmament. All right. Looper says play Talos Principle already. I actually have seen some Talos Principle gameplay. It looks okay. It looks kind of the first one, I guess. I don't know. From what I saw, it looks like it would bore me, to be honest with you. Like it looked kind of boring to me, but I'm very picky. I know. I'm like, I don't like puzzle games. I do like puzzle games. I can't make up my mind. I just like some of them and most of them I don't. I like a lot of, whenever there's a genre I don't like in particular, there are exceptions when it's like, okay, like I forget that I'm even playing this type of game, or like Red Matter. Red Matter is a great example of a puzzle game that I typically don't like puzzles, but I love Red Matter and I love the puzzles in that because it feels like I'm going on an adventure or something like that. I like those environmental storytelling kind of puzzles. Let's see here. I did really love Zing and Transpose. Those are probably two of the most puzzly ass puzzle games that I really enjoyed. So good to know though. Looper, are you talking about oh, you're talking about Talos Principle still. Okay. I wasn't sure if you were talking about Firmament or Talos Principle, but it sounds like Firmament. Dead Ringer in the house tonight. What is up, Dead Ringer? Shout out to Dead Ringer Juniors. Hope you guys are having a lovely day. Shades of Gray Matter. Good to see you, man. Hooked Worm, the Hoosier Game Cat, says The Witness is the greatest game ever, in my opinion. How do you create a game based on epiphanies? No, I'm thinking of Life is Strange. I think Life is Strange is Unreal Engine and can be played with UEVR. That is definitely one that I would love to. What up, Pietrek F? Says, just played Metro, low res and worst Mura I've ever seen on PSVR2. Interesting. Yeah, the resolution is not the highest in Metro, but I don't know. I wouldn't call it low res either. The Mura, definitely apparent. But messing with the settings did help with that some. And also it was something, it was bad in some places, but it was still enough to where I could ignore it. I remember there was a couple parts where I was a little frustrated with the Mura, but yeah, it's unfortunate that it happens. It's definitely a design flaw in the headset, a big one, but definitely can get over it when I have, like I said, like amazing dynamic shadows and lighting and high quality, high resolution textures and stuff. The assets in Metro are really good. Really good. The character models, are you kidding me? Those are better than like Horizon Call of the, they are better than Horizon Call of the Mountain. So it's easy to hone in on some of the weaknesses. Yes, those are definitely weaknesses. That's why I have Metro at about like an 8.5 versus like a 9 or 9.5. But it's still really good. It says tough, still enjoyed it. Well, glad you still were able to enjoy it anyways. Good to hear. All right. Another game that hopefully is good. We'll have to wait and see. Guys, 27 years ago, and 27 years and a couple of days ago was the anniversary of Starship Troopers. Now, this is a game that we got a little bit of a teaser trailer for originally, and everybody was really upset. Yes, I agree that the trailer wasn't that great, but that also being said, the trailer didn't show much. So this being a movie that I really loved growing up, I said before when I first covered this that I hope this is good. Like, I want this to be good. I want to give it a chance. I'm not going to just write it off just yet because of a 2-second gameplay trailer. It wasn't enough. So luckily, this game is scheduled to release November 25th, just another week and a half or so. And luckily, some people got their hands on it, some early impressions, and it turns out, well, it's not actually as bad as they thought it was going to be. So in some good news, this is potentially solid. Like, it sounds like there is not the highest ceiling for it. Sounds like at best it's good, but I will take a good official Starship Troopers VR game all day, every day. I don't care if it's only if it's just good. That is good enough for me. Would I want something bigger, better, like Helldivers? Yes, but I'm totally cool with that. But so this is coming out 11 days from now, and there is like a pre-order discount. Never pre-order though. Hopefully I'll have some review keys pretty soon, and hopefully the embargo will lift before the game releases, so I can tell you all about it beforehand, and we'll see how it turns out. But yeah, we shall see. Prentice Summer Scales says buying a copy of Starship Troopers is possibly our last chance to save XR games. Zombie VR might not come out in time to salvage the studio. Well, I think Zombie Army VR is probably mostly done. Probably can be finished up by Rebellion or by outsourcing to some other people. But yeah, I mean, XR games, yeah, they've had a rough go, man. This is another one of those companies where I was like excited about their stuff because I'm like, all right, they have made solid stuff over the years and it's pretty good. Nothing that ever really blew me away, but I was like, but they're solid, competent. And that, I think, starting from the Hitman Quest port, just tanked their company hard, ruined their reputation. This is the problem. This is what happens when, you kind of rush things. You just do a quick cash grab. You lose your reputation. You lose your company. You lose people. It's not good. So always best to just, like I said, this is why I'm okay with delays. What is it? What's the saying? A bad game release is, I don't remember what the saying is, but essentially delay your game instead of releasing it in a crappy state, and people won't hate you forever. All right, but Starship Troopers, fingers crossed, it's decent. I hope so. I really, really love this IP and would like a good game of it. All right, so in other news, let's see. I told you there's a lot of little news today. Lots of little bitty news. Walgreaves says AJ might have covered it in a previous video, but just saw the last dev video for the Mighty Eighth, like Masters of the Air series. Oh, looks incredible. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I haven't seen the Masters of the Air series, but all I know is that everybody watched that, and then everyone's like, "Where's Aces of Thunder?" So apparently, it's pretty good and got people really wanting to get plays in the mood to play some what's it called? The dog fighting game, whatever it's called. You know what I'm talking about? Aces of Thunder. There's some excitement for Starship Troopers. Some of you guys are saying Starship Troopers, I'm doing my part. Says Scott Awesome Tatum. Says, I'm day one in Starship Troopers citizen. Who you calling citizen? Citizen. Shades of Grey Matter says the new trailer definitely looks better, but it still looks like ass. Oh, Shades. Hey, it's okay to have high standards. Some of us don't have the high standards. Let's see here. Mark Hamilton says, love the first film, but game looks like 1 hour of fun, then forget. That's actually a good point. It does kind of look like that. A kind of a Ghostbusters situation where it's like, yeah, it's fun for an hour, and then you just, bleh. Which is, I think, what's probably going to happen. I wouldn't be surprised. That's kind of where my expectation is. I am definitely going in with very low expectations for Starship Troopers, but I think that'll help help the experience overall. Let's see here. Awesome Tato says, you high standards people up on your pedestal. All right, so in other news, before we got a couple of topics left before we get into our main event of the evening. VRider SBK is a licensed World Superbike Championship VR racing game that has been officially announced as coming to PSVR2 and Steam next year. I think the estimate was March. Now, let me just say, I'm not like seeing this trailer. I was kind of like, okay, I'm not like a motorcycle enthusiast, really. I do like racing, but I like cars overall. Like I've always liked cars more than bikes. But I was trying to just read some info on this game, and I did find a couple things that did catch my attention that got me kind of excited. Number one, looking at the description, it says things like riding some bikes up to speeds with speeds up to 200 miles per hour. Well, let me just read this here. Throttle up to speeds over 200 miles per hour, or 320 kilometers per hour. Compete with riders globally and truly immerse yourself in this multi-sensorial multiplayer VR thrill. VRider has pushed the boundaries of what's possible with with the Quest bringing, well, this is the Quest press release, I guess, bringing a realistic and insanely fun racing game to VR. Feel the engines roar with spatial audio, the winds rush, and the thunder of superbikes, transporting you straight to the track. Experience head-to-head on track battles against AI, real-life opponents, or against the clock. Will you lead the global leaderboard? Features: online multiplayer with global leaderboards. Choose your racing profile. It says choose your racing profile. Rookie, intermediate, expert, or pro. It has difficulty settings, guys. Come on. Anyways, what a great feature. Difficulty settings. So advanced, this game. Racing modes include quick race, track trial, tournament, ghost challenge, endurance, and hot lap. 12 licensed circuits, plus 23 official riders from the WSBK. 5 official superbikes, Ducati, blah, 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 Ninja, blah, 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 and motion. Okay. Anyways, and it also says it has comfort settings. Okay, this is what kind of got my attention with this. So, like a motorcycle thing, JTB says, God damn it, now I need a motorcycle rig. Yes, you can throw, we're all just going to go ahead, throw your racing rig in the trash. We need motorbikes now. I'm sure there'll be some people that, I would not be surprised if some people make something for this. But anyways, so there is a couple things that actually did get me a little bit excited to experience this. I'm not really excited to play this as a game, like as a fully featured game. I'm more excited about some of the experiences that I could have on this, like, as they mentioned before, going over 200 miles per hour on a super bike. I'm telling you right now, this is a game that I'm going to get a big ass fan and plop it right in front of me, crank that sucker up, and then play this. Because I do think in terms of immersion, the experience, that could feel really, really good. And as somebody that likes the thrill of VR, like, I don't like games that play it safe. I like when they do things that can make you uncomfortable or really push your VR legs to the limit, like, you know, Ace Combat or something like that. I live for these kinds of experiences in VR. Like, these are my favorite things. So I am looking forward to, we'll see how I feel once I actually play it, but I'm more looking forward to experiencing this more than like playing the whole thing like to completion. A cool concept, definitely something we need more of. Obviously, it's nice seeing that we're getting some more racers on the platform. Right now, all we have are, well, we have some of the best of all time, which is the good news, like Gran Turismo 7, and we have Galaxy Kart, which is fun now. But I do want to see this expanded more, because before we had stuff like Wipeout, we had Dirt Rally, some really, really awesome, like, you know, games. Not a huge variety, not a ton to choose from, but that's something that VR I think does need more of, and I welcome with open arms a superbike game. And this, yeah, like I said, seems like it could be a really cool thing to experience. And who knows? You know, I miss games back in the day that they were so good that they would get you into the whatever it was. Like Tony Hawk is the best example. Remember how popular skateboarding became when Tony Hawk dropped? We need more games like that like, you know, are just like revolutionary. And I'm not counting on this game to suddenly make me go buy a super bike overnight, but I would like to learn a little bit more about bikes and experience it a little bit in VR. I think that'd be pretty cool. Mark Hamilton says, AJ, play Ride 5 on PC VR. I actually bought Ride 3, but it was kind of janky because it's not an official VR version. It was using UEVR, and it takes a little tinkering. I played it for a little bit, and I was like, yeah, it's all right. Like, it wasn't great. I'd rather just have like an official game, to be honest with you. But I will give that another shot at some point. But yeah, so VRider SBK, a new motorcycle, high octane motorcycle racer coming next year, March 2025. So something else to look forward to. Getting a little bit past Q1, Q2 now, which is nice, because we have no idea what's beyond that for PSVR2. So it's nice to see that stuff is still coming. Don't want to get nervous about that. But yeah, let's see here. Niles Ryan says if the leaning feels natural, then it's on. Yeah. Looks like a good time to jump on that exercise bike that's never been used. Yes. Now we're talking. I'd want something a little bit more comfortable than an exercise bike, though. Those things aren't very comfortable. All right. So before we get into the other big racing game news, we got one more thing to cover here, and that is, of course, the Light Brigade. Eddie, those fine folks over at the studio that made the Light Brigade, which I completely just forgot. Wait, did it say it right there? Now I feel like I owe them justice here and remembering. Somebody in the chat will remind me if they don't show it here. Right? Looper? Somebody will remind me in the chat what they're called? Looper? No, not Saboteur. Anyways, the Light Brigade, you guys. Awesome. One of the best hidden gems on PSVR2. I think it's still on sale right now. Let me check right now. Now, there's also a physical version. For those that like to collect things. Yes, the Light Brigade is in fact on sale right now for $17.49, or with PlayStation Plus $16.24, and I highly recommend it. Nick Mulo in the chat, thank you. Funktronic Labs. You see, I didn't forget. Funktronic Labs, developed by them. But yeah, an awesome roguelike shooter. Great atmosphere. Some people that we know in our community have like hundreds of hours in this, or like 160 hours, I want to say. Something ridiculous. I know a lot of people, and it is very replayable. It is very fun. There's lots to grind for. There's really great progression system. Love the animation, love the art style. And the atmosphere, the sound design is fantastic in this. So I will try to make some time to revisit this. Something else I'd love to see them do, actually, if you're listening, Funktronic Labs, that I totally didn't forget your name, Bhaptics, man. This would be a great game to have a Bhaptics vest in. So let's make it happen. But yeah, this is the Phantom of Time update. They've added a new area, the Memorial Grounds, as you can see right here. New procedural world. They've also added some, only a couple months ago, they've added some additional content as well. But they've added the new Saboteur class, which is like has a revolver, and then there's this new ability where you can use a watch to kind of slow down time and take down enemies. So I look forward to checking this out. I will hopefully find some time to jump in here and do this, because I've missed the last two updates and now I'm falling behind on this. But Phantom of Time update 4.0 is now out, released today for PSVR2. So go enjoy if you have it. If you haven't picked it up yet, make sure you go at some point. Dead Ringer, thank you so much for the donation, my friend. Appreciate the love and support. Right back at you, my dude. I appreciate you guys so much. Says just add motorcycles to GT7. You could do that. You could do that. I don't know though, because they didn't handle dirt rally tracks very well. The ice tracks were actually pretty fun. The snowy and ice tracks were actually really great in GT7. But yeah, Gran Turismo is all about cars though, but it would be cool. I remember didn't Drive Club have like was it Drive Club Sport or something? Drive Club Bike Edition. They tried to do that. That didn't really work out for them. But no, GT7, you get a go-kart. That's what you get. And pickup truck. And you will like it. No, it's good stuff though. Looper says, I liked the bow and arrow class in Light Brigade. Interesting. I did not try that. That's probably from the last update, I think. Scott, the PSVR Game Cover for Life, says they're called devs. They're all just called devs, made by devs. Chrome Colossus says, I actually found stuff to enjoy in that PSVR 1 Moto game. It was bare bone graphically and had no actual racing, but the sense of speed and controls worked out well. That Moto race thing, that was like, it was way expensive for just a little crappy mode. If you maybe at best you could get it for like $5, but that still was too much, more than I would recommend. Apocalypse Rider was all we got, says Looper the Underground Game Cat. Yep, unfortunately, that was the only motorcycling game that we officially got, which was not good. It was the motorcycle version of Traffic Car Simulator, Highway Traffic Car Simulator 3000 VR, whatever that crappy new game that just came out was, that everybody's buying apparently. Oh man, Shades of Grey Matter nails it. Says peak VR motorcycle experience on PSVR 1 was Hypercycle Arena 2 in Dreams. Amen to that. Dude, Hypercycle Arena, aka Tron in VR in Dreams. That, dude, Dreams had some of the best VR experiences I've ever had, which is why I miss it so much. Still gets some of the best things. The PT remake was so much fun for over spooky season. But dude, Hypercycle Arena, I would say might be the best Dreams game in VR. That was an incredible jaw-dropping experience. I know Jungle Bill exists, and Jungle Bill was also very good, but man, something about the atmosphere and the quality and the polish of Hypercycle Arena. It was the best Tron game in VR. It was the best motorcycle game in VR. It was the best vehicular combat game in VR. It just nailed everything. It was incredible. Absolutely. I just played it not too long ago when I hooked my PSVR 1 up to play PT Silent Hills in Dreams. I revisited Hypercycle Arena, and let me just say, good God, is it still jaw-droppingly amazing. Wagreaver says, apart from Twirly Whirly Dude, yes, Twirly Whirly Dude's up there too. Wagreaver. Yes, I remember. I remember the good old days of the Twirly Whirly Dude. All right. So there's so many incredible Dreams, man. I love that game so much. I'm so glad my playlist still exists too. All right, guys. So now it is time to talk about the main event of the evening. I could totally be one of those announcers if I tried. Batman. No, I'm just kidding. ExoCars, you guys. ExoCars is reportedly coming out next week, and I wanted to give you my first impressions. Now, disclaimer, this is, of course, on PC VR. But this is all my own captured footage that I got together for you and edited together so you get to see some cool stuff. ExoCars, the brand new arcade racer where you race dune buggies. This game was announced not that long ago, and it was announced as an early access title that was to be coming out on all platforms. And of course, the PSVR 2 version was delayed just a little bit because of some small little certification things from Sony. And it is expected to release next week instead. Again, this is all my gameplay. But I'm playing on PC VR using a PSVR 2. And guys, so ExoCars features a couple of different things. It features 9 unique tracks that are actually reused with different modes or reused with different settings. So there's 27 tracks total, which is way more than what I expected. But 27 tracks total. And there's a nice variety of them. There's 9, it seems like there's 9 different tracks, but some of them have nighttime versions. They have foggy versions. They have like evening, different times of day, basically, and different weather. Now, this game is releasing as an early access title, but the plan for them is to release it now and then to eventually add stuff to it with player feedback. And if you guys want to see me wipe out, and if you want to see what wiping out looks like, pay attention right now, because it's about to happen. And when you crash, and they keep you in VR, and I absolutely love it. I had to include that clip. I have lots more clips of me crashing. But this features 9 unique tracks, 27 different variations of it. There's 3 different game modes. There's Exo Champ, which is a kind of like recurring seasonal tournament mode where you can actually win prizes, such as like getting your own helmet made or your own custom buggy. There's career mode, which is what I'm playing here, where you race. I'm just racing against, I'm guessing this is just AI. Some of the names seem to be different, but you have to get basically a gold, a bronze, silver, or gold medal. And then there's also a multiplayer mode with, of course, the combat mode as well. And I am playing using the orbs, and the in-game controller here, or in-game steering wheel. This game, I believe, is supposed to have wheel support. That I believe has been confirmed by the developers, as well as the price tag of $20 has also been confirmed. Now here, I'm just playing across different tracks, and first impressions, guys, I really like this so far. Now, it is a somewhat bare bones game, a little bit, but so far, the graphics were really nice. The performance was really nice. This is, of course, PC again, not PS5 yet, but I'm hoping that the PS5 version is a lot like the PC version, because this is definitely pretty high quality in terms of graphics. This level here was the only one that I had a little bit of performance issues with. I had a little bit of frame stutter, but everything else, it ran extremely smooth and it was crisp, it was clear, and yeah, this game's a little bit harder than I thought it was going to be. Starting out on the canyon track, I was actually like, whoa, like this is actually pretty difficult. But I did get used to it really quickly, and started really liking it. It is more of an arcade racer, but the awesome thing is, like, this feels like the first like true quality, like polished arcade racer that I've played in a while so far. While the content wise, like I said, there's the different modes. There's actually, for being how quick this game was announced, I was actually surprised at how many different level styles there were. And like how much stuff was actually in this game, because honestly, even though there's not a ton of content in this game, there's more than I expected. And there's actually lots of customization as well, where you can customize your buggy's paint job, your wheels, the way they look, your helmet, your gloves. And there are a lot of options to choose from with those. I'm using all of the standard, just base stuff that you start with. This was me and my first run here, getting used to the controls, and this was actually pretty difficult. Racing style wise, it's not, it's very arcadey, which I actually like, because I've played so many sim racers. It actually feels nice to play an arcade racer. But this is not the arcade racer where like Galaxy Kart, where you can just step on the gas the entire time. No, you will be punished for that. It's definitely arcade. I'm definitely having some fun there in the video. I'm looking at myself, I'm like, wow, I'm having a really great time right there. And yeah, once you race, there's times you can beat, you earn currency. But racing feel wise, it's very easy to wipe out in this game. You have to definitely remain very focused, and you do have to slow down on turns. And there are some nice like physics to it, where you have to be very careful Otherwise, you can easily spin out and crash. And you'll see I'm just like barely making here. Now, something that was cool here was that actually says ExoCars Dev. So this is racing in the career mode against the bots or whatever, but it looks like one of the developers here actually sets one of the AI runs for one of the bots or whatever. And that actually got me really excited. There are leaderboards in this, which is nice. There's global leaderboards and everything. So there is like incentive to replay. I did find myself, this is one of the few games where I was like, I want to replay this and actually get a better time. Like this is one of the first games in a long time that actually made me want to compete. And what I love right here is you can see the ExoCars Dev wiped out right there. That was the greatest feeling in the world. Getting past one of the developers in the thing, you could see I'm definitely celebrating. Maybe a little bit too early, but I was definitely celebrating. That was a wonderful feeling, having the developer profile racing against it and then actually beating it. That was a wonderful feeling. The controllers had really, really good rumble in them, really good rumble in the controllers. So I'm hoping, you guys, that they really spent a lot of time with the PS5 version, fine tuning the haptics. Give us some, if they give us like some haptics, some adaptive triggers, some headset rumble, for $20, guys, like this is definitely like an indie game, but for $20 so far, if the parity of the Steam VR version and the PSVR2 version are pretty similar, guys, this is a really good $20 game, like a really, really good one. Oftentimes there's so many things that can go wrong. And like I said, it's simple, but it's really fun. It's very simple, but it's also very fun. And if it uses wheel support as well, that's going to be even better. But yeah, I honestly was expecting this to be way more bare bones. Okay, I've already let this video play through a couple times, so I'm going to shrink the video footage now, but hopefully you got a good look at that. But guys, so with this being such a close release to when it was announced, I was expecting this to be extremely bare bones. I mean, I'm talking like 2 or 3 tracks and, 1 or 2 buggies you can choose from. I was like this is going to feel like an early access game. This actually feels like a really good start. This is like, it gives you enough content to justify a purchase at launch. Again, assuming the PSVR2 version is going to be like this. We have to wait and see that, so take it with a grain of salt. But crossing my fingers here that does end up being the case. This is actually a really good $20 game. There's, like I said, 27 tracks was a surprise. There was multiplayer and there were people playing on the multiplayer. There was like 3 different races going on, I saw. They've also given us a content roadmap for this game as to kind of like what to expect in the future. So they say that they're going to be updating with a couple different things here. In November 28th, just a little bit after release, they're going to have their first major tournament with new customization options. December 12th, there is actually, let me see, let me see if I can just pull up this picture here so you guys can see this as well. Let's take a look at what they have in store for us here. I think it's this one. Yep. Okay. So, whoa, big boy. Okay. All right. So, November 28th, they have their first major tournament, new customization options. December 12th, tuning system and enhance your buggy performance and new customization options. December 23rd, a new biome with 3 unique tracks, a Christmas event, an achievement system implementation on MetaQuest and Steam. Doesn't apply to us. And then even going into next year, January through February, new multiplayer mode, to be announced. New buggy type with different physics and different driving experience. Next major tournament. And then February, March, new customization options with a new biome and 3 unique tracks. They say that please note that release timings and plans are subject to change. So none of this is set in stone, but this is kind of the goal that they have so far in terms of the roadmap. But guys, I think if people jump into this and support it enough, if first of all, if the version is good, and then people end up supporting this game and giving them some great feedback, and they listen to it and implement it into the game, I think this is a game to really keep an eye on. This is, to me, there is already a great start for just a simple $20 game. And if they just continue to add content to it and add some really unique things to expand upon it, to add more depth to the game, this could be really, really good. In fact, like I'm talking like a top 25 game here, because my first impression on PC VR, like I said, simple but fun. There haven't been a lot of games that really capture the essence of like a fun racer. Surprisingly, which sounds crazy, you'd think there'd be like way too many. You think it'd be an oversaturated market of racers. That's not been the case. Most of them have not been good. And then we have a couple great ones like Gran Turismo 7. And that's really, there's not much more than that. So, you know, I don't want to overhype this. Like I said, but for $20, I do feel like this has more content than I expected. I like the price point, but for the launch, being so close to when the announcement, it actually has more stuff than I expected, more quality, it's definitely more quality than quantity. But it's really good. I'm very happy about this. So, I like the physics. I like the racing. I don't know how I feel about this multiplayer or like these like, you know, other players. There is supposed to be real-time multiplayer coming. I don't know how I feel about this. Like, you see the things and then you get close to them, they turn invisible. They're kind of still in the way and you're not hitting them. And I don't know how I feel about that. I'd probably, my guess is that they had real like collisions and it was just chaos and like nobody was able to finish a race. So from a game design standpoint, I can understand why it's the way it is, but I would like a little bit more sense of presence of the other things. And I think having some collision could possibly help with that. Or, you know, I mean, it's fine. Sometimes it is funny to see people just kind of spin out. Like you see their ghost basically going around and you'll see their ghost just spin out and it's pretty funny to watch that happen, and you pass them, it feels good. I like the ramps here. There's little ramps, there's big ramps, some pretty good stuff there. But yeah, man, I think, the ghost racing is only one of the options, says Chrome Colossus. Interesting. I thought that they did say that they were planning like some collisions, but it's not there yet. Right now, this is just how it's launching. But yeah, man, I played about 30-45 minutes of this. Played through about 4, 5, probably more like 6 tracks. And I really liked it, man. So I'm gonna be keeping my eye on this. Like I said, hopefully we get some review keys for the PSVR2 version and can take a look at this. They gotta, of course, get through cert first. But this is good, man. Like, this is just solid, I would say. Like, it doesn't reinvent anything, really. It doesn't go above and beyond, really. But for what it is, like, it's solid. Like, it's for the most part, I feel like it is as advertised. So very promising indeed, which is why I named this episode ExoCars is Promising. Because I like what I played so far. I actually really like the way the controller rumble felt. So I'm really hoping they double down on that with the haptics. With the orbs, I was using the option to grab the wheel and turn and use the in-game virtual steering wheel. I typically like that option for immersion. But you can use the joysticks as well. I don't usually like the way that feels. Like, I'm like, why am I grabbing the steering wheel and using joysticks? something about that feels off to me, although it probably gives you a little bit of a gameplay advantage. But yeah, the button mapping, everything was good. The rumble was great. The graphics were sharp and crisp. The frame rate was good for the most part, minus the forest. But yeah, I don't think Mischievous Markio says I'm going to wait for more polish for this game. I don't think the polish is the problem. I think the if there is any, I think the content is going to be eventually what kind of catches up to this, and it may leave you wanting more content. It may start to get a little repetitive after a while, but I do like that. I do like the method that they're using to execute this. And this is, I've been wanting to play a game from ExoCars for so long now. They really they made a couple like Wipeout clones and stuff in the past, and I've always wanted them to bring something to PSVR. So I'm really happy to finally get something from them. But yeah, man, like I definitely would say do not sleep on this game. I would not sleep on it. Don't overlook it. Keep an eye on it. Wait for PSVR reviews because my PCVR early impressions are pretty darn good, and I'm looking forward to it. And just remember, man, we get a lot of feedback from people on other platforms. Yes, this is PCVR, but PCVR usually is pretty in line with PSVR2 most of the time. But a lot of times we'll get like feedback from other platforms that are like the Quest, which is nothing like, I mean, there are similarities, but there's also major differences in like the Quest versions of games and PSVR2 versions. They're usually way different if they're good ports anyways. And so I haven't seen what kind of feedback the Quest version or anything has gotten on this, but so far this is pretty good. Shades of Gray Matter says, yeah, Omega Pilot looked cool, but reviews were sort of mid. Maybe after ExoCars they'll make Omega Pilot 2, maybe. Looper says, a new biome, is it a roguelike? I love that they're bringing biomes back here. Let's do this. DJ Dirty Yellow says $20 is a steal. I don't know about a steal, but I do think $20 is a good price for this. A steal would be like $10 for this. That would be an absolute criminal steal. But $20, I feel very good about this. I feel like there's just enough content to justify that. And like I said, it feels very polished. Like that's something that was actually pretty surprised. Like it's not janky. It's, at least so far for me, it hasn't been janky at all. It feels very polished. Yes, it's a little minimalistic, but there's the environments look really nice. The tracks are fun to race on. They're a little short, but they're fun to race on. They look nice. They've got this nice little like menu that loads like your currency that you and your earnings, and there's global leaderboards. Like it actually is pretty polished. So DJ Dirty L says, I would have charged $25. Well, you're not getting a sale from me then. Shade says Quest version was solid according to VR Grid. There's a visual downgrade, but it looks sharp and runs smooth, and that platform has few good racing options. Yeah. I don't know, DJ, but maybe one day I'll find out. All right, guys. But yeah, so I don't know what other information I can provide for you here. Well, actually I can. There's going to be full cross-platform support for crossplay. So that will be a nice boost to the player base for this. It will have you will be able to play with Steam, PSVR, and Quest with each other. That's going to be really important for keeping the player base as big as possible. And I think that's kind of it. But yeah, man, my initial impressions on the PC VR version, very positive for this. Yes, I want to keep expectations in check. It is smaller. It has more variety than I expected, but it's fun, and it's got a lot of customization to your stuff. There was like a lot of customization, like I said, like so many different colors and paint jobs and helmets and gloves to choose from, a lot. And you do purchase them, so you do have to like earn currency to be able to purchase them. It's all cosmetic, it seems like, but pretty cool. And yeah, the tracks are actually kind of beautiful in a way. They look really, really nice. That's the one thing that I think would have broken this game for me, is just like ultra bland. Like if everything about this game was just super bland, like visually, it would have made this very less appealing to me. But because the environments mix up nice. Oh, I almost forgot to shout out the soundtrack. Big shout out to the soundtrack here, which is actually pretty decent. So many VR developers make awful soundtracks using royalty-free crap music. And not only do they have some pretty good tunes in this, but they've got a lot of metal in there. Niles, Ryan, my metal feline friend, they were definitely thinking about us. They definitely listen to some metal. So mad respect to that. So yeah, man, really enjoyed this overall. I can't wait to play more and kind of get some better times on here. And yeah, man, good stuff. So this is supposed to be coming. There's no set date yet, but hopefully is coming next week. We don't know yet. Hopefully comes next week. That would be a great time for it to come out. Because beyond that, shit's about to get crazy with Alien and Hitman and Behemoth. So this game needs to come out next week to have a chance. Otherwise, it is screwed, because there are massive games incoming very, very soon. I just listed 3 big hitters there. So, but yeah, this was a nice surprise. I did not think this would have. This has more. I feel like this has more content than an End Dreams game. Let's put it that way. This didn't make me feel like, oh, like there should be so much more. Why there are only 4 characters. Like, this was not an End Dream situation where it was quickly made. This actually has like a decent amount of content in it for just starting out, and for planning to release a lot more content for it. This has a chance, man. This has a chance to be really good for us. So good luck, ExoCars. Enjoy away. I'll be rooting for you, and I'll be playing it hopefully very soon on the PSVR2 official PS5 version. All right, guys. So before we get out of here, how we doing out there, man? Y'all doing okay? Of course, it's time to open it up to the interactive chat section of the show, where I like to just kick back, relax, and interact with you guys. How many people had cheeseburgers? Raise your hand if you had cheeseburgers after our last Thursday show. After having that talk. Game Cat Chicago. Life is good, man. And I'll tell you, you know, I'm so incredible. I did not just say that. I'm so incredibly grateful. I'm so incredible, you guys. I'm so incredibly grateful to be where we are today, guys. Like I said, you know, VR still has mountains to overcome in terms of, like, you know, growth and success. But wow, I like to reflect a lot, and whenever I reflect about like the stuff that we have right now, I'm so fortunate to be able to have a PSVR2 and a PS5 and a Quest and a PC, and a haptics vest and a racing wheel and a HOTUS flight stick, and getting to interact with so many developers behind the scenes, man. Like, I cannot tell you, words cannot describe you, like, just how grateful I am to each and every one of you for all of your support over the years. And man, it's really amazing what the stuff, the toys that we have today, ladies and gents, are some really next generation, like, imagine this in the future kind of stuff. And this is like just stuff we get to do, like, and hang out with and chill with and have fun. But yeah, you guys are, of course, the most incredible community. And I am so thankful for you as well. I appreciate you so much. You have no idea. I think about you all the time. But beyond that, even beyond us, just the bigger picture, you know, the whole, everything that's happening with VR, I've been asking myself kind of like where VR is right now and where it's going. And right now, at this moment, I feel like things are really good. with the big new, there's new hardware that's been dropping. There's new big games that have been dropping. Stuff like Batman is really good for the ecosystem, I think. Then upcoming stuff like Hitman should be good for it as well. And then, hopefully, let's make some noise for Behemoth and Metro. I mean, I love Metro. Yes, it has a lot of Mura. I don't care. It's still, I would, if I had the choice to have Metro Awakening with Mura or no Metro at all, you guarantee I'm going to take Metro with some Mura all goddamn day long, every day, 7 days a week. Because it is fantastic. And I can kind of overlook some of the early VR flaws that we have. And like I said, I've been playing Batman on the Quest 3. It's my first time playing a Quest 3. And I've gotten to do some comparisons. And there really is a trade-off for each one. Quest is awesome for, some of the exclusives like Batman. I haven't played Assassin's Creed yet, or Asgard's Wrath 2. Hopefully one day I get to. It has some great advantages though, where it's it's wireless, it's very easy to set up, it's got a boatload of features and compatibility things. The pancake lenses are very nice. But then you've got the PSVR2, which has haptics, adaptive triggers, headset rumble, OLED screens, eye-tracked foveated rendering, eye-tracked gameplay input, breathtaking visuals on some games. I mean, if you're a hardcore gamer, you're kind of missing out if you don't have a PSVR 2. If you love gaming, which is what I do. I love VR for gaming, which interestingly enough, a lot of the stuff that's really pushing VR is more about the technology and the way that, people like the gimmick of VR. The gimmick of VR sells people. But the second you actually get a full blown gaming experience, I know we're kind of the minority that enjoy full blown games in VR. But that shit's good, man. And I think it's only a matter of time before more people come along. Anyways, I'm supposed to be answering your questions, and I just went on a whole rant right there. Chrome Colossus says, I'm back to work on my Alien Derelict Sci-Fi Corridor walking sim in Dreams. Still working on Dreams. I love it, man. Hope I can convince you to play it when it's all done. Let me know, man. I'll play the shit out of it. Absolutely. Let's see here. GameCat Chicago says you need to get the PS5 Pro if you're serious about upgrading your No Man's Sky experience. I am. It's not my first rodeo though. I've been through the No Man's Sky upgrade a billion times, and I don't know. This is the first time. If I didn't already have 1,000 hours in No Man's Sky, yeah, I'd have it yesterday. But it's dude, it's already so good. PS5 is so good with VR. It's such a huge step up from the PS4. Especially when the games are done right. I mean, so I'm not in a huge rush. If games look like shit on a PS5, yeah, I'd upgrade in a second. That's why I upgraded from a PS4 to a PS4 Pro in a heartbeat. But games don't look bad. I mean, like Red Matter 2. What could you possibly do to Red Matter 2 to make it look better? Is it even possible? Because I don't think so. I don't even think it's humanly. I mean, they are wizards over there, so I wouldn't put it past them to do something like that. But good Lord. Yeah, there's just got to be more, man. There's got to be more. Maybe, you know what I'd love to see? I'd love to see some new games. That's what I'd like to see. I want games to look forward to, not updates to look forward to. Although, those would be nice. I need games, not updates. But I'm glad you're really liking your PS5 Pro. I gotta hold off. I got way too much stuff to play already. I hardly have time to play what I have already. So, I don't want to be too greedy. I feel like I'm already greedy. Scott, the PSVR Game Cat for Life says, doing well, AJ. Just watched Deadpool and Wolverine with the missus the other day, and it was fun, and I played Squirrel with a gun. Oh, yeah, Squirrel with a gun. I've heard about that game. I remember seeing that. It looked pretty funny. I really enjoyed Deadpool Wolverine for 2 scenes in that entire movie. Only 2. And one of them was awesome. Yeah, no, that was honestly, I didn't think it was like, I thought the first half of Deadpool Wolverine was like meh, like it was not very good. But the second half, it got a lot better. And those 2 epic fight scenes and some of the cameos, no spoilers, were awesome and made me very, very happy, especially a couple in particular. And we got to see something that we've wanted to see. Any fan of, Wolverine or Marvel or whatever has wanted to see for basically since X-Men came out. Got to see something that we wanted to see, which was really nice. But glad you're doing well, Scott, and having fun. Awesome. What up, Kill Artist, the Dreamweaver, Game Cat. Good to see you, man. Steve Irie. Okay, I don't usually read your comments ahead of time, so I kind of read them just as I see them. So I have no idea what you're gonna say, but I'm trusting you. Steve Irie says I'd kind of thought that earlier with Assetto Corsa in VR, sitting in a VW Golf, watching the sunset over a mountain in Japan in the rain as I watch YouTube on the car's touchscreen on the dash. Interesting. I feel like I missed an earlier comment to that, but hey, I kind of get where you're coming from there. Chilling I don't know if I'd be sitting in a VW Golf though, Steve. like of all the things, if I had a video game that let me drive any car that I wanted, not every single one of them is going to be like a Bugatti, but a VW Golf. Okay, to be fair, okay, in your defense, Steve, and again, I'm missing a lot of context with your comment. In your defense, some of the more normal cars in Gran Turismo are actually some of the most immersive. That like Japanese luxury van and like the ambulance, those are some of the coolest cars you can drive in there, just because of the way they look and feel, the interiors look and the way they feel. Steve says, LOL, the VW Golf has that touchscreen feature you can work manually. Okay. So it's got a touchscreen that you can do like in VR. Are you talking about in VR, right? Like we're talking VR here? Like using the touchscreen? That would be pretty cool. I could see that. Okay. That'd be fun. Nice little gimmick. And plus I like road cars, not spaceships. Fair point. Okay. I like spaceships. I like rockets and rocket fuel. So that's where we differ, but I do understand normal cars can be very immersive and realistic. Well, that is pretty cool that you could mess with the little, can you play any games? Can you play like Snake on the little VW Golf screen? Cause that'd be really cool. I'd be in that shit all day. Looper, the underground game cat, my dude, elite name squad in the house says Mura is just film grain from all the radiation. All the radiation we're getting, direct doses to our eyes. That's funny. DJ Dirty Yella, I need a fake handlebars for VRider. Yeah, that'd be cool. Kill Artist says Batman is pretty sweet so far in my playthrough. Yes, I like it a lot. Dude, the gadgets in Batman, the gadgets, the combat, I am very much enjoying. All the gadgets and stuff are really, really cool. Surprisingly good, like storytelling too. I actually like the story so far quite a bit. I don't feel like it's even ramped up yet. I'm like almost halfway through. But story wise, everything wise, not too bad. Not too bad. I'm definitely enjoying Batman a good bit. I love the gadgets, man. I love the grappling hook and the leveling, the progression system is pretty nice. Some of those special moves that you can do, like you get like your special build up and you throw your batarang and it blows up, and you can punch, you hit your special and you punch the ground and bats swarm everywhere and like stun the enemies for a while. Super cool, man. Super cool. Can't wait to finish it. and then review it for Ryan Payton. Let's see here. What else we got? What else you guys been up to? Everything's been good over here, by the way. Things have been pretty good. I've been super busy, but work and then play VR in my free time whenever I get it. But no, I've been kind of relaxing just a little bit. I took a break this weekend from playing basically any VR. I played a little bit of Metro and a little bit of Batman, but that's like a break for me, is playing like an hour or two of two different games. That's a break. We play a lot of freaking games here, man. But it was a nice break. Got some fresh air, touched some grass, made a little campfire, a little fire pit, which was nice. Ate some s'mores, went off my diet. Been exercising a little bit more lately, which is nice. Trying to get healthy. That's another good thing about a VR, is like VR, I don't think is a very good workout, like overall. It's an okay workout, but it is something. It is some sort of physical activity. And I'll tell you where I think VR can really be good is like if you exercise earlier on in the day or whatever, if you get some exercise, whether it be like lifting weights or running or cardio, you know, whatever, I feel like VR is a good way to top off the night with just a little bit more activity. It's a good way to top off a workout, I feel like. Especially like more physical games, like not maybe so much shooters, but like punching games or you know, other things like that. Let's see, another winter jam trying to happen in dreams. Don't forget that Asgard's Wrath 2 includes a PC key for the first game. Yeah, I actually already have Asgard's Wrath. I honestly, I mean, I didn't give it a fair shake, but I played the beginning and I wasn't impressed. I think I don't know. It was very scripted in the beginning, but I think it's like an RPG, right? Like I'd probably like it as I got more into the game, but I'm not really into the Asgard stuff. the Thor. Let's see here. But I didn't really give it a fair shake. So I'm not going to comment on that. Let's see here. I do love that VR is a workout over, like, you know, sitting on your butt with a controller all day. It is definitely more activity than that. Yeah, exactly. Dead ringer. Anything other than sitting down is an awesome improvement for your health. That's right. Sitting is the new smoking, as they say. So make sure you get a little bit of walking around every now and then. Try not to sit down too much. I started to lose my mind because I was sitting for about 10 to 11 hours, like literally like about probably 10 hours a day, maybe even more. I was sitting down in a chair and it drove me insane to the point to where I started going on walks every day, as well as doing some other exercise. Let's see here. And then I finished by eating a pizza and a burger. Oh man. And drink a beer. Let's see here. Ooh, Kill Artist says they almost finished with season 1 of Arcane on Netflix. It's so good, dude. Again, Arcane, you guys, I still think season 1, the best video game adaptation I have ever seen in my life. It is the best video game based video adaptation ever. You know why? Because I've never played or seen a single thing about League of Legends, and this shit was so good. I care about all the characters and everything. Yep, I've seen the first 3 episodes of season 2 of Arcane, and it's okay so far. Like, it's good. It has some stuff in it, like a lot of musical stuff going on, and I'm like, like I don't. Can we get back to being about characters instead of a music video constantly? There's some stuff that's a little forced, it feels, but it does also have some really kick-ass stuff as well. So yes, highly recommend Arcane. I bought my Netflix. I renewed my Netflix membership for that, and then I also watched Castlevania Nocturne, which follows Richter Belmont. As some of you know, I'm a huge Castlevania fan. I've beaten 9 Castlevanias. I wear that like a badge of honor. Easier said than done, definitely. But yeah, I love Castlevania. Castlevania Nocturne was pretty good. I actually really liked it. I'd say I'd probably a little bit more biased to where I enjoyed it a lot more than how quality it was. But it was decent. It just didn't take itself very serious sometimes, which was kind of weird. Which is okay. But it was good. I enjoyed it. I was glad. I watched the whole thing from start to finish from 6 in the morning because I woke up at 6 a.m. and I couldn't go back to sleep, so I just watched the entire thing. Let's see here. What else do we have here? Chrome Colossus, if we ever get feet tracking, maybe we'll get a Flintstones VR racer where you move your legs. I know Julia was looking at Feet Saber. She was interested in that. But then she saw the feet tracking things were like $500 a piece. She was like, yep, nope, no, I'm good. I'm out. I'm telling you, man, VR is expensive. But some of the stuff I think is worth investing in, like headsets, consoles, computer. Those are absolutely worth investing in. Stuff like a racing wheel, haptics vest, those are worth it if you put the time into it. But you can end up not using those for a while, which is the unfortunate part. But I think at the very least, you got to start with everything. I think VR is so small, the platforms are so divided that really to get the best VR experience, you really just, if you can, aim for that. Aim for a PSVR2, a PS5, a PC, and a Quest. And you'll get the best, all the best VR that exists. And that is 100% worth it, in my opinion. Chrome Colossus says, what about Talau? The Last of Us show was really good. Wasn't as good as the game, obviously, but I thought it was a very good adaptation as well. It kind of sped through some of the kind of more meaningful stuff, but I don't know. It did a really good job. Overall, it could have been much worse. Though it was definitely really great to watch, really fun to watch. Mark Poppin' Pringles Leaf says The Penguin was a great series. Yeah, I might check that out too. Oh, I'm also watching Better Call Saul. I have not seen that before, and I've been watching like an episode of Better Call Saul a night, which is really good. I'm only like 3 episodes in. I've watched 3 episodes, and from the first, I was kind of sold from the first episode. The first episode was really good. But yeah, that's kind of hooked me now, just like Breaking Bad did. Like, that's not usually stuff. I don't usually watch TV dramas. TV shows and dramas, 2 things I do not watch. But somehow Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, they're working for me. Let's see here. Chrome Colossus says, what about Werewolves Among Us? Werewolves Within, the movie? If you're talking about the movie based on a VR game, I think it was called Werewolves Within, right? I watched that. It was meh. It wasn't very good. DJ Dirty Yellow says, have you heard about any other games coming out like Dreams for PC, PSVR2, or Quest? Any other games like Dreams? No, I've heard there's been a couple things floating around, but I don't know what they are. There was something about, I think I saw it in the Discord, something about a sandbox VR. I don't know what that is. Chrome Claus says, what about Fallout? Fallout was good. I enjoyed it for sure. It made me want to go play Fallout 4 in VR, which I did a little bit. I have a lot more. The thing is, the Fallout 4 VR needs mods. It needs mods like really bad, which I haven't done yet. So I'll get back to that when I can. Castlevania Symphony of the Night video game was my favorite. Nice. That's pretty much everybody's favorite. A very good game, and rightfully so. My personal favorite, Super Castlevania 4. I think, to me, I like the classic Vanias the most, but I do like the Metroidvanias as well. Those are very, very good. Love Symphony of the Night. Love Crescent of the Blood Moon. I think that's what it's called. Some of those like DS ones, Game Boy Color ones, whatever. Some of those are like legit, like super good. Am I thinking like Crescendo of the Blood Moon, like the Rec Room thing? But I think it's called Crescent of the Moon or something. It's gotta be. Castlevania. I love Castlevania so much. Which I also love Devil May Cry. I just love that like gothic Victorian fighting demons, killing monsters, slaying monsters and demons stuff. I've always liked that quite a bit. I am loving this chat. You guys are so much fun. Thank you for indulging in the excess conversation here. Let's see here. Yep. There's a lot of seasons of Better Call Saul, which is pretty crazy. Looper says it's better than Breaking Bad. I've not the first person that's told me that. I don't know if I'd say that yet, but I'm only on like 3 episodes in, so I got a long way to go. Mischievous Markio has not finished Breaking Bad. Oh yeah, you got to do that. Scott says, I love puzzle shows. I did watch Werewolves Within, Chrome Colossus, and yeah, it was okay. It's not a very good movie, but it was cool that there was an actual movie based on not the board game, but the PSVR IP. That's so weird. But I'll take it. Let's see here. All right, guys. Mark Poppin' Pringles Leaf says, AJ, did you play Castlevania on the N64? That was a good game. Mark Poppin' Pringles Leaf, I have Castlevania N64 about 20 feet away from me that way. And it was okay. I think it gets a little too much hate, but it's nowhere near one of the best ones, I would say. Definitely gets more hate than it deserves, though. Let's see here. What We Do in the Shadows was really fun. Silent Hill 2 with motion controls is a thing now, and it's great. Yes. I can't wait to jump back into Silent Hill 2. I just don't have the time right now. But that was really awesome first impression on that. But then summer ended, and then PSVR2 Game started happening again. Over the summer, I was like so glad to have my PC because there was all this PC stuff I wanted to get caught up on. I still need to finish like Final Fantasy VII. There's still a lot of stuff I need to finish on PC VR, but when the fall came, then all the PSVR2 games just started pouring in again. And there's not as much free time as there was, but once it slows down again, which is probably after the holiday or something, then, or if I just find the time, then I'm going to definitely squeeze in some more PC stuff at some point. Because like I said, PSVR 2 is an excellent PC headset. It is so good. The OLED screen is so good, man. OLED screen just looks beautiful. All right. Killer Artist says Sony needs to throw some money to get Castlevania in VR. I highly agree. All the Konami classics. Give me Contra VR. Give me Castlevania VR. Give me Silent Hill VR. All the Konamis. Give me all the Konamis. Metal Gear Solid. And Looper says that there's a plugin that adds full motion controls for melee and guns for Silent Hill. Very cool. Excellent. Yes, I saw something about that. But again, I just, gotta wait a little bit. Bleach Smiles, hello, welcome. Says big Breaking Bad fan, big Better Call Saul fan, and highly recommend The Penguin. Awesome series. All right. You guys have convinced me. I will add The Penguin to my list Absolutely. What is that on? Is that on Max? Or HBO? Whatever it's called now? I'll find out. I have a way to watch it regardless. So I will find it and I will watch it and I will report back. Dude, Colin Farrell as the Penguin. Dude, those cosmetics, holy shit. The cosmetics on there, on his suit are incredible. I saw The Batman with Twilight Boy. And it was okay. Here's my 30-second review of The Batman. It needed about 30 minutes chopped out of it, maybe 45 minutes. The problem that they ran into with The Batman was that all of the scenes that had to be there that were like meaningful towards the story were not very good. And then all the cool stuff that they could have cut out was cool, so they didn't want to cut it out. So you ended up with this bloated mess of a movie with The Batman. It did have some cool stuff about it. I liked some of the stuff, but yeah, it needed about 45 minutes chopped out, and unfortunately, the stuff that they needed to chop out, they couldn't, because it had to be there for the context of the story. Yeah, he's not a very good Bruce Wayne. But he's a decent Batman. And that dude, that actor, I don't know his name, but the guy that played the Riddler was pretty good. Colin Farrell, amazing as the Penguin. I don't like puzzle films. Let's see here. The Batman was great. Scott, the PSVR Game Cat, for like, oh, that's why he said I don't like puzzle films. You think puzzle films are your ally? I was born in the puzzles, molded by it. I love Bane. That movie, The Dark Knight Rises, not the greatest movie, but goddamn, I love Bane so much. Bane is so entertaining to me. I love him. Steve Irie says, what? Jim Carrey didn't come back as the Riddler again? No. Mark Poppin' Pringles says, who's your favorite Bruce Wayne, AJ? There's only one right answer here. And for some reason, my favorite Bruce Wayne is Kevin Conroy, I would say, from the animated series. That was the best Bruce Wayne. My favorite Batman, Michael Keaton. Absolutely. I love those movies. 89, Batman 89. Michael Keaton was a good Bruce Wayne too. But I'll give Bruce Wayne to Kevin Conroy. God rest his soul. I'll give Bruce Wayne to him because he was a fantastic Bruce Wayne. But Batman, that's gonna go to Michael Keaton. You want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts. What up, Charlie Murphy? Good to see you, brother. Salvador, with the Batman, the missus knocked out for 30 minutes, woke up and still knew what was going on. Shout out to the Mrs. Sal. She was a lovely person to meet up in Boston, up in PAX. You two were a hoot, and it was awesome to get to meet you, as well as some of you others. All right, guys. Well, I think on that note, yes, you are all right. You all win. Michael Keaton is the best Batman, hands down. But guys, that is it for our show today. Wow, we got a really extended interactive chat. This was a long show for like hardly any news, at least what I thought. But guys, thank you so much for being here, man. Happy Thursday, happy Friday Eve, Happy Friday for some of you. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. And thank you so much for being here, hanging out, having fun, shooting the shit as always. You are seriously the greatest community ever. And man, I am just so lucky to know all of you. You guys are amazing. Also, shout out to these lovely people down here. Not my brand new non-profit merch that's available on streamlabs.com/PSVR Underground. Although I will say they're very cheap t-shirts and they're very nice. And the hoodies. It's winter's coming up, guys. Don't be cold. Make sure you get yourself an Underground hoodie. They're good materials. They look really cool. I try to have a cool design for them. So yeah, enjoy. Pick yourself up. I make no profit off those, so I ain't selling you nothing. They're cheap and they're good. I love I love my t-shirts. Thank you to these lovely people down here that support me on patreon.com/PSVR Underground. Thank you so much to all my Patreon supporters. I appreciate you guys. Again, helping me every single month. You have no idea how much that helps me. And of course, all you lovely people in the chat today, thank you so much for your donations and your kindness as always. I appreciate you. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful night. And I'll see you again very, very soon. Now let's get out of here and cue some metal. All right. Chrome Colossus, thank you so much, man. Dead Ringer, the Game Cat, you have a wonderful night, man. Scott, the PSVR Game Cat for life. Stay frosty, my friend. Bleach Smiles, thank you so much for dropping in and for the penguin recommendation. Johnny Murphy, so good to see you, my friend. Guy Son, fist bump to you. Mark Poppin, Pringles Leaf, thank you so much. Awesome Tatum in the house. Chrome to the Dome Colossus, thank you, man. Kill Artist, the Dreamweaver, Game Cat. I'm losing my voice here. Looper, the Underground Game Cat, Elite Name Squad in the house. Yes, Jack Nicholson is also probably the best Joker, although that could go to Mark Hamill as well. Or Heath Ledger. I don't know, man. The Joker's got competition, bro. I don't even know if you guys can hear me with the music so loud, but Delgato, Steve IRE, thank you so much, man. Sal, my dude, thank you. I can't wait to show everybody the gift you gave me. And you may have something coming back very, very soon. Mischievous Markio, my dude. Nick Mulo, thank you so much. DJ Dirty Yellow, y'all have a wonderful night. I'll see you again later. Peace.
Forced to wreck, 'cause I'm a sinner.